Yo, 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 what's up, PFL Nation? We got more playoff action for you on this Wednesday night. We got the number 4 ranked Texas Longhorns versus the 5th ranked Oregon Ducks. Both these teams coming in with high playoff expectations. Honestly, I'm super excited to see this one. This is one of the matchups, if you remember when Zeke and I were talking earlier this week after the conference game, that I was most excited about. I think this is going to be real close. I think this is going to be back and forth. I do personally think that Oregon's going to be able to pull this one off with the upset over the 4 seed. But we will see how that shapes up, folks. I can't wait to get this one underway. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Excuse me on that. Can't wait to see how this one ends up going. But I know those key matchups right now is going to be AB versus LA, Austin Briley versus Lamar Anderson, and of course, an elite running back matchup between Carlos Thompson, Mr. CT, RB1, and Tamari Jones, who I think is by far the most versatile running back in the PFL between his rushing and receiving ability. Be some highlights of LA. LA's had an up and down season, but he got the nod. You know, Coach Nickerson believes in him, believes in what he's doing, and we got some super exciting Wednesday night action for you guys. We see Lamar take the snap, hand off to CT, and CT immediately going to work, get himself some quick yardage. You see a little bit of stats there. You see his ridiculous season totals. CT has been eaten all season long, and I expect him to be doing more of the same here tonight against Oregon. We're going to see Lamar get ready to take this next snap. Again, CT in the backfield. Looks like it's a handoff to the right side. It was. They did have a gap on the outside, but instead just tried to barrel over the defense, setting up the 3rd and short. Oregon stack in the box right now. 8 in the box. Moving in an additional person as well. Basically 9 in the box. Absolutely stacked. CT's nowhere going to go because Oregon was definitely reading that run. Knew what was coming, played around the run, and that is Williams with a huge tackle in the backfield to shut that drive down with the quickness. As Texas is on the 3 and out to start this game, absolutely insane for them. I'm sure as an offense they were not looking at coming out and having that quick 3 and out, but Oregon's defense stood tall, shut down the run, absolutely delivered what they need to do. If they want to, get ahead in this game and ultimately get the lead, they're going to have to lean on that defense, which honestly, historically has been having some difficulty stopping the run. So that is a big stop for them on that first series. As we're going to see Oregon go ahead and return this punt real quick. Just a little ways to go. That's Mr. Kyrie Washington on the return. And we're going to get our first look at Austin Briley and this Oregon offense. Listen, AB's had himself a hell of a season, up for the Best Freshman of the Year award, the Heisman Award. The man is just everywhere. Absolute beast of a year, and I'm sure he's going to want to deliver here where it matters most, in the quarterfinals of the National Football Playoff. Or, the College Football Playoff. You guys know what I meant. We're going to get his first look. Goes for the deep curl route and delivers. 17-yard pass. That is exactly what he's going to be looking to do. And, of course, he's going to his number 1 target, Mr. D. Wade. Absolute freak at wide receiver 1 for Oregon all year long. And if they're not handing it off to Tamari or looking underneath to Tamari, that's probably where it's going. Kyrie's had himself a good season as well at wide receiver. But AB has really favored D. Wade, and I can't really blame him. He has been excellent for Oregon all season long. Texas definitely has their hands full with what they're going to be trying to do on the defensive side. So it's really going to be all about trying to get as much coverage as possible. We see the first dump-off play. Get Tamari some space. They do love those at Oregon. The dump-offs are huge for them. But, if you're Texas, you're really looking at Darrell Franklin, Jackson Willis, and, Jaden Sanders all trying to do their thing. Shut down this wide receiver room as much as possible as AB absolutely sails that one to the wide open Tamari underneath, setting up a 3rd and 4. And let's see what Coach Brooks cooks up to try to convert here to get the first down. Has some time, delivers, but looks like that is getting dropped. Incomplete on the absolute monster hit, and there is that Texas secondary going to work forcing that incompletion and setting up Oregon, I believe here, will have to punt. It doesn't really make sense to try a massive field goal. They definitely do not have the leg for that. They could go for it, I guess, with this field position. That wouldn't be the craziest thing in the universe. But I anticipate they are just going to end up punting. What an absolute hammer by that Texas secondary to get that ball out. And here is the Oregon special team unit coming out to punt. And really, that shouldn't be too surprising. You know, I didn't talk about them on the first series, but obviously the two biggest things we're going to be looking at out of that Oregon defense is, of course, Jacklin and Hutton. Those are some absolute freaks for them. They have been all season long. That's why they're so good on that pass defense. They've done a great job at staying fast against the pass. You see what I did there? And stopping it from getting too much over the top. They've really only given up the short plays outside of last week's conference championship where Bama really did whatever they wanted. Overall, their defense has been performing all year long. We see the handoff to CT, and yet again, excuse me, not a lot of room to run for CT. Coach Brooks has obviously been game planning for the run, and you can see that here in how Oregon is absolutely shutting that down. We see another handoff to CT, only a couple more yards to gain, setting up the third and about 5. This looks to be a passing down for me. Let's see what Coach Nickerson has cooked up here. He does go on the underneath pass, but it gets immediately stopped. Only a 3-yard gain. The first catch by Billingsley, but just absolutely stuffed by Cruz on the tackle, preventing any kind of conversion on this series. And that's back-to-back 3-and-outs for Texas. They definitely do not want to keep doing that, as obviously, you know, you got to move the ball to get points on the board. But in that same vein, obviously Oregon's offense did get stopped as well. So Texas can't be too upset at what they're looking at right now. You just want to make sure you're, you know, giving your defense time to rest on these series so that they can come out refreshed and try to get a stop themselves. As we see another quick punt return by Mr. Washington getting it done. And, you know, this Oregon offense, you know, like I talked about when I talked about Kyrie, we can't forget, you know, obviously Taylor Ross as well has had himself a hell of a season. It's really just been a matter for them of utilizing Mintz at tight end, Wade, obviously Taylor and Kyrie correctly, and mostly Tamari Jones. We're going to see his first handoff here. Goes to the outside, cuts up, finds a great gap there, and goes for 14 yards on that carry. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. When I talk about the speed, that is a very underrated, very well-utilized running back right there out of Oregon. And if you're Texas, you know, just like Oregon is clearly game planning for CT, you have to be making sure you're doing everything you can to shut down the run. Because if the run gets going, with all the weapons they have in the passing game, you have to be careful and not letting Tamari just do whatever he wants out of the backfield. We see AB calling audible at the line. Play actions. Looks like he's going kind of deep. Goes to the outside route. I don't know. They did say that was complete. And there is Taylor. That was a serious toe drag if that wasn't in bounds. That looked like it was kind of a laser to the white lines. But what a catch by Taylor Ross. Obviously, I'd like to see the replay to see how he pulled that one down. Coach Nickerson's probably thinking about whether or not he wants to challenge here. This is going to be a great replay. Hopefully we get a good angle on the catch. And it's blocked. I think that's out of bounds. I think that's coming back. He's way out of bounds, obviously by this angle. There's some random dudes in the way, so we can't really see the initial catch. But nope, they're gonna play it on. That is crazy. That could be a controversial replay coming back and looking at that one, folks. AB's gonna drop back, take the snap. Does overthrow it a little bit, setting up the 2nd and 10. And it does look like we have a fullback in the formation, so this is definitely either a play action or a run here. Could be a bootleg. It is a bootleg. Looks underneath to Tamari, tries to get him some open space. Definitely has some spins into a tackle, but that does get him enough yards for a new set of downs. We're at 5.5 in the first quarter, folks. This one is flying by as we're seeing Oregon knock on the door of the red zone. See a quick pitch out. Tamari gets around one guy. There is a flag that could be a face mask, but I'm thinking it's going to be a hold. It is. And that is going to go back. Setting them up for, you know, much longer. That is on D-Wade. That's 1st and 18. You got to keep those hands down. We're going to see AB in the shotgun. Looking. Finds his man, delivers. and keeps it much, much closer, makes up all those yards. That was Talon on that grab as well. And now we're in second and do whatever you want territory. We do see the quick inside zone handoff. That is going to get enough yardage to convert the first down and get a new series for Oregon. If you're Texas, again, this secondary honestly is doing pretty well. There haven't been anything too crazy, but you have to do a better job at, staying close to the box, keeping your safeties in your corners, close on these receivers, playing a lot of press defense because you don't want to allow Tamari to get too much open space. And they did a great job there, stopping him, preventing that type of opening, because you want to try to do what Oregon's doing on defense in setting up obvious passing downs. Instead of making it, way too many options. It's hard to game plan as a defense, right, if they can do anything they want. But if you're setting up obvious passing downs like this 3rd and 7, it's a lot easier to game plan for that. Every once in a while you might get caught by a draw play, but typically on these 3rd and longer yardage situations, you can feel good planning for the pass. Whether that's a blitz or it's just simply dropping everyone back. He is looking underneath, finds him, and just barely gets across the first down. Well-designed play on the line of scrimmage. That was to Irving, his first catch of the night. And Oregon is knocking on the door of the end zone of Texas. So this is a big, big situation for them. Obviously, they're going to want to try to convert this. But we all know in the PFL, goal line offense is incredibly difficult. And I know Texas is going to be cranked up right now trying to get that stop. So let's see who comes out, who else can make a big play for whether it be Texas or Oregon here. AB sends man in motion, looks for the touch pass, fakes it, goes to Tamari, tries to fight his way behind the blocker, but gets stopped, unable to cross the plane. Great tackle by Texas. He is now about a yard away from the end zone, but I'll tell you what, a yard is not in the end zone. So you will take that. You need, just 2 more stops. And you're going to be holding them to 3. You see how much they're stacking here, just trying to get to the back as much and as quickly as they can. Tamari gets the handoff and just walks his way in, and that is the first points of this quarterfinal Sugar Bowl matchup, folks, between number 5 Oregon and number 4 Texas. Oregon is the first to score with 2 minutes to go in the first. Coach Brooks is shouting some encouragement to his guys. Great job by Oregon. Very calculated drive. And if you're Texas, honestly, you got to be thinking, okay, we did an okay job at containing what we needed to contain, as we see some incredible weightlifting out of Tamari, just putting that man straight up on his shoulders and just carrying him out of the end zone. But you just have to think about some things you have to tighten up overall. As we see Oregon do make the extra point, no doinks there, and take the 7-0 lead. And honestly, I'm pretty excited to see how LA and company respond now that there is a score on the board. Now that maybe they feel a little bit more exhilarated, a little bit more energy, saying, hey, we got to get out there and score ourselves in order to keep this thing close. We don't want to let it get out of hand too quickly, too early. You guys know this, you've heard me in the booth enough times. I'm a big proponent of, responding, of bouncing back whenever something like this happens. You're at home, you have the amazing Austin crowd behind you. You just gotta, put up the hook'em horns and get it done. And let's see what LA, CT, and company have in their pocket for this drive. We see the first handoff to CT, tries to break through a man, unable to shake the tackle. And again, there's Jacqueline on his second tackle, the man I talked about earlier today. But again, for CT, you have to try to keep something going and staying positive ahead of the chains, because obviously Texas is going to rely on their star running back to get the job done. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're not getting positive yardage, and then you're setting up much more obvious passing downs. As we see another one, although that was a risky tackle there. Yep, there is the face mask call. That was kind of a wild tackle. Obviously against Jacqueline, he's had some great tackles so far this game, so far this season. But that was a mishap, and we're going to see later on. I talked about that catch that I thought was obviously out of bounds, being a game changer. Penalties, those 15-yard penalties add up very, very fast, and just like that, Texas is knocking on the door from midfield. We do see another handoff, but just 3 Oregon jerseys. The pursuit to the ball on these running plays has been excellent so far for Oregon. As we see LA in the shotgun. Finally going to see a pass, and we're not seeing one for a hot minute. Pressure in his face, just has to get rid of it, setting up what looks to be a very clear passing down. Only his second throw, folks. You know, this is a whole quarter of football, and we've only seen 2 throws out of LA. The first one being a 3-yard drag, and the second one just kind of sailing out of bounds as the pressure was in his face. We're going to see our third pass, most likely here. And let's see what we can dial up. He goes straight on the streak for the quick streak pass. Can't deliver, and just like that, we are setting up a punting situation for Texas before this first quarter ends. Coach Brooks is extremely hyped up. I know Coach Nickerson, I know Tyon well. I'm sure he is not happy with this first quarter performance out of his Longhorns on this Wednesday night. That, however, was a good punt, good response by special teams. And we're going to have to see if AB can come out and deliver another long, calculated drive like he did previously. As we see AB line up under center, get ready to take the snap and single back. You see the play action there, the rollout to the right. Tons of time, just endless time. Goes for the deep ball. Oh my goodness, I feel like that was in Taylon's hands and just fell out. I couldn't tell if that was a hit or just an incredibly awkward catch and not able to come down with it. But man, oh man, was that close to an absolute bomb. And Texas, once again, has done a good job at not giving up those crazy deep plays. I still believe that that one pass that was deep was out of bounds. And outside of that, they've done a great job of just preventing anything, you know, getting too crazy. So we see another run stop. Texas doing a much better job here making adjustments to the fact that they don't want Tamari to run all over them. I wouldn't be surprised if AB hikes this or lets the clock run down. It does look like he will. That is the end of one. Let me see the 2s in chat, folks. This is PFL Wednesday night playoff action. Man, oh man, I'm having myself a great time calling this one so far. We got a 7-0 lead out of Oregon. Switching the field. A lot of pressure on this 3rd and 11 to at least get some yards and get the punter some space. Looks for it, almost throws a pick right into the hands of the Texas defender, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about this secondary. Oh my goodness. Who was that out of there? Number 7. I'm not quite sure who that was, but man, that was some excellent defense. Great way to read the route and deliver. Now we're going to see Oregon punt it away, and Texas offense gets the ball in fantastic field position right around the 45-yard line. Fantastic spot to be in to try to get some points on the board and tie this game up. All right, we're going to get our look. Single back formation. I expect this to be a handoff to CT. It is, and he falls for what, maybe 6, maybe 7 yards there. That's a good run. It does look like they gave him 7 yards. 11:44 to go. The second quarter just getting underway. That's a funny stat that pops up saying that Oregon's only allowed 3 passing yards, as that was Neal on his second tackle of the night. We see LA get ready here. Another handoff to CT. Finds that gap. Finally, the O-line does a good job of creating a gap for CT to run through, and they get a new series, new set of downs. And now we have 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Single back yet again. We see yet another handoff. CT finds the gap and gets about 12. That is what CT can do if the run starts to open up for him. And the problem if you're Oregon now is after back-to-back good runs, you have to be a little careful, as we see AB getting some coaching from the staff. You have to be a little careful because this is what I'm talking about when I say the run will open the pass up. Because now as a defense, you start to think, okay, maybe I got to move my guys in a little bit closer. Maybe I got to move my linebackers in a little bit. And that's when the pass will really start to open up. Look how close these guys are getting to the line. You see another run out of CT. That time only getting a few yards. Oregon definitely more prepared for that run as they set up 2nd and 7. You see AB talking to his guys, keeping them hyped up, keeping them ready for the next series. And we see AB, I mean, not AB, I apologize. We see LA get ready to take this next snap. Sends a man in motion. Looks like it is a wham. So I expect to see a run. Yep, there it is. And CT fights his way again for another 11 or 12 yards. And that's exactly what we're trying to see out of him all night long. Getting the job done. As we are, second quarter, 9.5 minutes left. In order for Texas to succeed, they know that this run has to be there. And they are knocking on the door with Oregon. A couple more big runs like that, and CT will be in the end zone. But let's see what Coach Nickerson has dialed up now that they are officially in red zone offense. We're going to see a pass here. Finds his man underneath. Great route to get open and fighting for the first down. Oh my goodness, as Lamar finally gets a chance to throw it, and it is Billingsley, his only target so far tonight. As AB is getting hyped on the sidelines, he wants that ball back as we see 1st and goal out of Texas. He is anticipating getting that ball back very, very soon. CLA passing yet again, goes underneath. Nowhere to really go for Billingsley on that one, as the ball was kind of thrown a little underneath, so he kind of fell on it. But that does set up the 2nd and goal. I think this is going to be a handoff. Let's see. He did get a man to jump. They could have been right on the goal line, but did not hike it in time. There is the handoff. CT finds the gap and runs into the end zone. Just like he's been doing all year long, folks. That is CTRB1 getting it done for the Texas Longhorns. Pending the extra point, tying this game up. 8 minutes left in the second. PFL playoff action, baby. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm loving having everybody here. I love calling these games. You guys know that. So just thank you so much. It's been a great league. It's been a great season. These playoffs keep heating up. And I am here for it, man. It's super exciting. So, great job by CT getting that touchdown. Great game we've already seen here. Obviously, it's been a defensive back and forth. Only 7 points each. With 8 minutes to go in the second, it's been a lot of defense. A lot of longer drives because these are running, primarily running teams. So you see a lot of clock management, a lot of running. But it's working out, for both teams so far. We saw really stout run defense from Oregon in that first quarter. And really not stout run defense from Oregon here in the second. As we're going to see them take a knee, and we're going to get another look at Austin Briley in this Oregon offense. And I am excited to see what they come out here with. Whenever someone scores, you guys probably have heard me say it so many times, but the response really is important. It's important to know, hey, we have something in the tank whenever our opponent goes out and delivers. We see the play action. Great blocking by the O-line. AB had about 1,000 years to throw that and does underthrow it just a little as the pressure was finally getting to him. Maybe got to be a little bit faster on that release on that throw, as we do see an empty backfield. We're going to see another pass here. Does go underneath, finds his man, and delivers. Has to feel a lot better, as that is Kyrie Washington's first catch of the game, I believe. Or second catch, maybe. Has to feel a lot more confident on those short routes than he is on the deep ball right now. As he delivers once again. I believe that was that Irving, or was that? No, that was D-Wade. That's 16. So, delivers to D-Wade, his go-to target on those kind of longer curl routes because of those hands. D-Wade doesn't care if he gets hit right away. He's usually going to hang on to that ball. Now we see what looks to be a very obvious run formation, but it could be play action. That could be Oregon just baiting us. It was play action. Goes to the open man on the corner, and that is a toe drag catch. Absolute great reception by Taylor Ross. Yet again, living on those sidelines is Oregon with these passes. We see the underneath stuff go through the middle. But when AB starts looking deep, they love being on these sidelines, whether it's back shoulder or front shoulder going to the outside or curling back. A lot of their play design revolves around getting to those right or left hash marks and then deciding what they want to do afterwards. So great job by AB finding the open man. And we're going to see him take the snap here. Another pass wide open underneath his Mintz. Plenty of room to work with it too. Gets about 11. The linebackers were clearly just backed up on that one, trying to guard the deep ball, and that worked out effortlessly for the little drag route. That was Adamore on the tackle. But a solid 11 yards out of Mintz, and Oregon is able to move this ball pretty well offensively. We finally see a handoff to Samari. You can already tell at 8 rushes and 24 yards, yes, he has a touchdown, but that's only 3 yards a carry. Texas has overall done a great job stopping Tamari from doing anything too wild. Definitely been game planning for the run, and AB has delivered when he needs to so far when it comes to the passing game. And no turnovers for either team so far, which is also great. As we see another underneath pass to Mintz. Mintz isn't the fastest tight end in the world, but he does have really solid route running. You can see he's pretty crisp on those cuts. Finds ways to get open where Austin can go out and find him. We see the play action rolling out to Austin's right, stepping into the pocket, delivering underneath to D-Wade. Again, his go-to target on these curl routes. Setting up a 2nd and 4, and they're really 5 yards from the end zone. So let's see what they draft up there. I did see D-Wade on the slant to the left wide open, but just has to throw it away. Gets hit as he throws. And now we see an empty backfield, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. I think we're going to see a couple curl routes, maybe a drag. Yep, there's the drag. He does go to the drag route, and it is into the end zone for Kyrie Washington, getting it done, putting Oregon back on top. After, again, a methodical drive, AB delivering when he needs to, finding the appropriate open target, and just like that, folks, those drag routes are incredibly hard to cover in those 5 receiver sets. Because of the fact, especially in that space, right, you've got a couple people going on curl routes, so the linebackers are watching there. You typically have 1 or 2 going kind of post ends, sitting in the edge of the end zone, and then those drag routes underneath are almost always going to be open because there's just not enough people to see every single route. And while the window to deliver is typically pretty small, AB did a great job finding the man right in the middle and delivering a pass. Putting Oregon up 14-7 with 4 minutes to go in this first half. You absolutely want to respond here if you're Texas. You do not want to go into the half, kick the ball off to Oregon a while down by a score. So I do expect to see Coach Nickerson have his people hyped up, focused, and ready to deliver a strike. Obviously, CT was able to run all over this Oregon defense in the last series. While we don't have a ton of time on the clock, I still feel like it's prudent to give CT a couple carries and see if he can replicate what he did in the previous series. And there you go, there's his first handoff, but not really able to go anywhere with it. Chased from behind and brought down with the quickness. That was Neal with his 2nd tackle of the night. And that clock is going to keep ticking, which, maybe Texas at this stage, they're thinking we're going to try that one more time. But if you're going clock this early, that usually is not going to work out too well. CT, never mind, finds a massive hole and jukes a guy. Definitely going to get that urgency up. Huge run there for CT, as that says he just passed 1,500 yards. I don't know if that's exactly accurate, because I know sometimes the stats can be a little strange with our stat people, but make sure to check that stat sheet. I'm sure he's close if he is not past 1,500 yards already. Absolute beast of a season for this young man. Done a great job for Texas, really been the workhorse, really carried the load for them, and helped them get into this 4 seed position. So congratulations, CT. As a fellow running back, you'll love to see that. And he continues to fight. Get some additional yardage here, setting up 2nd and do whatever you want. 2nd and 2. And we're going to see what's dialed up here. We see another handoff. Not as much of a gap, but I do believe they'll give him the first down there. They will. We have a new series with 2 minutes to go on the clock. And we are going to see another handoff. I think he should have just stayed to the right and tried to juke to the outside. Unable to do so. They are going to go into the hurry up on 2nd and 9. You see the pass, tries to get underneath, almost throws an interception in the hands of the linebacker, unable to come down with it. Absolutely insane risk out of Texas, and the pressure's in his face, and LA does get sacked by Funa on 3rd down, setting up the 4th and a mile. Clock ticking. Surprised Oregon has not called a timeout. I think that's quite strange, as I feel like with a minute and a half, they definitely could set themselves up to get some points on the board. But oh my goodness, that will definitely put Texas way out of field goal range. And just like that, a promising drive immediately stopped. First the errant pass, followed up by the sack. Texas does click the clock all the way down to 1 minute and delivers a very nice punt to about the 5 or 6 yard line. So my theory is AB just going to give the ball to Tamari 3 times, and we're going to end the half, barring anything crazy. As we see, we get a quick look at AB's stats. Honestly, his completion percentage has not been that great tonight. He's sailed a few, but I think that might just be freshman jitters. The playoffs are the playoffs, so we are going to see a shotgun pass, but just goes underneath, goes to where he needs to go to get some space out of the end zone. See another shotgun, which is kind of crazy, but 20 seconds on the clock. Oregon's probably not too worried about too many things right now. Goes underneath once more. Not quite able to fight for the first. I don't know if they'll hike the ball again. Honestly, I could see them just running down that clock. They do. They were in victory formation anyway. And that is going to be halftime, folks. Wednesday night, Sugar Bowl, 4v5. Absolutely great first half we're seeing here. Oregon has the lead, 14-7, doing what they need to do. Kind of dictating the game a little bit, but honestly, Texas offense has looked really good on their last 2 series. Just had a quick stall out and a sack, which is obviously going to hurt your momentum. But overall, Texas has to feel good. They're only down by 1 score. Game's definitely not over. If you're new to the PFL, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube. You've hit that like button. And hey, fill out the application in the description. If you're already here and you know somebody who might be interested, get them to that application. Get your 40 prime points for referring somebody. And they will get 25 prime points to jumpstart their career here in the PFL. The PFL, or Prime Football League, as you may or may not know, is a collegiate simulation football league where you can live out your collegiate dreams and then eventually make your way into the pros. Ran by an absolutely fantastic commissioner and staff. We'd love to have you here. I'd love to call your name up here in the booth. So if you're interested, please get signed up. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out either on Instagram or other social media. We'll be happy to help you out. Obviously, you can reach us on Discord as well. And with that, let's get this second half underway. Let me see those threes in the chat as Oregon is leading off this first drive. And a score here would be a big statement out of them, as we do see kind of a hospital pass get delivered. How did he hang on to that one? Setting up 2nd and 4, absolutely clobbered. Insane way to hang on to the ball there, as we see 3 Texas guys drag Talon to the ground there. 4 catches for 55 yards out of Talon. A great first half performance out of him. And if you're in Texas, you just got to keep thinking, okay, we can allow the short stuff. Just try to contain any of the deep bombs. AB is looking deep on this one. Goes for it. Oh my goodness, it was in his hands. D-Wade tries to moss the man, unable to do so. And then the ball's kind of tipping around. It was in his hands, but unable to secure the catch. Setting up the 2nd down. I mean, you got to take a shot every now and then. Excellent defense out of Texas, stopping one of the best receivers in the league from getting that ball on that fast route. As we see him kind of go with a circus catch there for 2 yards. A little bit extra out of D-Wade. Maybe he's mad about the previous play. Setting up the 3rd and 8. AB's going for the fast route yet again, but over-delivers, and that is stale. You know, he's had those problems tonight. You can see he's got 9 incompletions. He's had those problems. And you cannot give this Texas offense this many opportunities. They will punish you. You know, you look in the first half, Oregon had that 7-0 lead for a while, but they couldn't capitalize on their other attempts. Texas was able to climb back. And guess what, folks? We're seeing more of that. You know, in the second half, I know LA, I know CT, I know these boys are thinking to themselves, okay, every time we get the ball, we got to try to get points on the board. That has to be the focus. Not only because, of course, it is, you're playing football, but ultimately, they know they can. They have the weapons to do so, but This play action is not going to work out at all as LA tries to roll out to his right and gets absolutely crunched. Huge stop there. Did he get the ball out? Is that saying no? Okay, good. That is a body bag. I'm like, there is no way this man got the ball out. Yep, just goes right down, knows the hit's coming, says no thank you. You know, that is not what they're looking for. Setting up second and a mile. I really want to see some involvement from Abaya right now. I think that would be great for Texas. He hasn't been involved all night. We do just see the little dump off. But I think it would be great for Texas if they can get that man involved. He's very fast, very difficult to guard, and I don't just think they can keep going to Billingsley on all these passing situations. Oregon comes with the blitz, and LA does sail the pass, setting up a 4th and long. But those stats tell the tale of the tape, folks. Lamar's only thrown 8 passes, only completed 4 of them, and only for 16 yards. The Texas passing offense has just not really been there for them tonight. And that isn't their bread and butter, but I think it's crazy to think that Abaya is not getting open on these play actions. They're not finding the targets they need. CT is definitely bringing the Oregon players into the box, doing what he needs to do as a running back, not only on his touches, but just kind of drawing the defense. So Texas has to find a way to capitalize in the passing game. But with that, we're going to get another look at this Oregon offense. AB sends a man in motion, and we are going to see the handoff to Tamari. Huge gap, but unable to go. I think he should have cut to the right side there. There was definitely more space. Ends up trying to go for kind of the home run juke, because if he got past that guy, he had a lot of room to run. Doesn't work out for him. Great tackle by Texas, stopping it from getting too crazy, setting up the second and about 5 or 6. Another man in motion. AB gets back to pass. Pressure in his face. Has to go underneath. Does deliver, but not a lot of yardage there. 3rd and 3 now. Playbook's a little bit more open for Oregon on this. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very quick pass. There it is. And that's to his favorite. That's D. Wade getting another catch there. There's a reason he's one of the top targets for this CS2 for Austin Briley. He's done a great job. You know, that receiving room over there at Oregon is absolutely stacked. Yeah, the more I call this game, the more excited I get, so I keep feeling like I gotta take a breather, man. I just love playoff football. I know all you guys do that are watching. There's no better time than playoff football, man. I love watching this stuff. AB, man in his face, throws a dot. I do not know. Did he get pushed out? He did. That was a laser of a pass, too, and a great grab by Talon, but just pushed out of bounds, unable to convert. Pressure in his face again. AB's got to get rid of the ball. Fails to do so. And Jones with the massive sack, throwing that man on his back. I think that is their first sack of the night. That is exactly what Texas needed. You can hear the crowd roaring after a play like that. It doesn't take much to get this Texas crowd energized. They love their Longhorns, and they are showing it right now. What a massive, massive sack. And now all they need to do is deliver on this 3rd and 30 miles. And they do so as AB tries to go underneath to Kyrie on a drag route, but there's 2 linebackers just waiting for that. Immediately gets deflected and sets up a long punt and another opportunity for this Texas offense to get some points on the board. We see the punt go away. We are going to get a quick look. Obviously, it's Texas offense. CT RB1 running back out on the field. We're going to get another look at this Texas offense, who I think just got to get back to what they were doing. They got to get the run more involved. Obviously, LA's struggling a bit through the air. Have to try to concentrate on keeping the run involved. We do see another incompletion in his hands, but I feel like he was hearing footsteps, so he was ready to let that ball go as soon as he got hit. LA dropped back to pass, tons of protection, all day to throw, finds the open man. Great job getting open. You know, whenever you see that long of a route, that much time, that's Reyes on the catch, you have to kind of you got to be an improviser. You got to find ways to get open. Clearly, the original route was not working. Great way to improvise. Great way to get open in LA to find the man. The pocket stayed strong, was just starting to crack a little bit, and LA delivered a dot. You see him send the man in motion. CT again, massive gap there to the left side. Look at how fast this man is. Is he going all the way? Oh my goodness, stretching for the pylon. Doesn't quite get there. So close as CT stretches his hand out for the pylon. Oh my goodness. A little bit risky. If he gets hit a little bit harder, that might be a fumble. But what a run. That is exactly what the Texas offense needed. Look at that boy stretch. So close to crossing that pylon. Texas, you have to deliver. Give the ball back to CT. Tie this game up. Get it done right here. There's the handoff, and he waltzed into the end zone. Second touchdown on the night for CT. As a fellow running back, you know I love that. Great to see, and Texas getting ready to tie this game up. AB starting to get frustrated on that sideline. You know, Oregon, you don't have anyone to blame but yourselves at this point. Offense has had a lot of opportunities and just keeps floundering them. In Texas, I said this. What did I say at the start of the half? You give them too many chances, this offense is going to make you pay. You know, it may take a little while, but Coach Nickerson and company do a great job game planning for the whole game, right? You got a whole game of football to play. They do a great job of game planning for it. And over time, you know, they chip away, and then all of a sudden you see that breakout run out of CT, and just like that, we have ourselves a tied game with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. My goodness, folks. I cannot wait to see how this one ends up shaping up throughout the rest of this one, man. We got about a quarter and a half to go. Love playoff action. I love a tied game in playoff action. That makes it even better. We see AB goes underneath, still trusting those safe passes, as he has been all night long. Definitely has his own, you know, faith in those short balls for sure. I think this is going to be a handoff to Tamari. Yes, it is. Tries to go left, but Texas, man, they're ready for this now. They're doing a great job themselves at stopping the run, and now they're definitely in the pass defense. You can see it in the set. Pressure still coming. AB does find his man, and Mintz breaks a tackle. Doesn't net him any additional yardage, but does send a message that, hey, I'm still out here. I'm ready to get the ball. Oregon's got weapons. All-around wide receiver at the X, the Z, and the slot. And, hey, they got weapons at tight end, too. Great play by Mintz. Great way to keep the ball moving, keep the drive alive, as I do think it's really important for Oregon to respond here. We see AB take the snap out of the shotgun, pressure coming, pressure in his face, and he does fail that. Again, look at this, 12 incompletions for AB. The man is a little rattled tonight. It looks like he's just a little shaken. This Texas defense is starting to get inside his head. I feel like this crowd noise making it hard to hear these plays. Delivers on the quick little slant route. Gets a good amount of yards back. Stays positive as it sets up 3rd and 3. 206 yards for AB. The yardage has been there, you know, and he's done a good job on these shorter routes, but he has just struggled whenever there's pressure in his face, and honestly, whenever the Oregon dials up some kind of deep ball, he's been sailing those quite a bit. We see another pass underneath, but Mintz doesn't even turn around, doesn't even bother to look at it, and that's going to set up the punt for Oregon. And Texas, I think for the first time since the first quarter, is going to have an opportunity to take the lead. Great punt out of Oregon special teams. I believe that's Casey Wild on the punt there, setting them up inside the 10, right around the 7-yard line. But Texas, man, they're just like that. They're right back. That's why they're the 4 seed. That's why they got that home field advantage. This crowd is screaming, honestly making it difficult to call up here in the booth. We got a ton of noise. They are loving what they're seeing and just hoping that their Longhorns can deliver right here on this drive right now. We see CT. Tons of room, and the safeties have to make the stop. When this guy gets past the line of scrimmage and past that first line with the linebackers, it is terrifying, man. Because if the safeties aren't perfectly in tune, if they bit a little too early or anything like that, he is gone. CT's got the speed. He's got the power. You always have to game plan for that guy. And Oregon did such a fantastic job at it early in this game. But since then, Texas has just been able to run. And if you're Oregon, as he continues to gain good yardage, I would just stack the box. Listen, LA, right, wrong, or indifferent, LA has not delivered tonight. You got to get the ball out of CT's hands if you want to succeed on defense for Oregon. As we see another handoff, this could be a run or a passing down situation on 3rd and 3. Texas is one of the teams that love the handoffs here. Little inside zone. Let's see what they go with. They do go with the pass. Has a man underneath, number 5, wide open. I don't know if he passed the line. He did not, because the ball was on the other arm. If the ball was in his left arm, that's a first down. Ball in his right arm, 4th and inches. Absolutely insane. Do they go for it? The field position is really tight. They did not. They are going to punt. The ball is right there, though. I'm going to say if I was the coach here, I'd want to give the ball to CT and say, go get me the first down. But they are going to punt it away. Oregon does get the 3 and out. Massive defensive showcase. That's Jacklin and Hutton, man. We're talking about them. They've been doing their thing. Obviously, Cam Sweet, Jack Long, Tito Cruz, they've all kind of been doing their thing on defense. But that series was their standout series so far this game to me. Absolutely massive 3 and out. Texas has a chance to take the lead, all the momentum, and Oregon gets the stuff. We see AB deliver on the quick little 7-yard out route from Mintz. He has been loving going to Mintz all game long. 25 seconds on the clock. LA hyping up his team. I don't know if we'll see another play here in this 3rd quarter. And we will not, as that will wind it to the 4th quarter, folks. Let me see those 4s in chat. We got a tied game. Another PFL classic. You know it's going to be a classic when your boy is on the mic. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm having a great time. I hope you all are too. And let me see those predictions. You know how I am in the 4th quarter. Who's winning this one? Oregon or Texas, man? Let me see what y'all think. We're going to see AB deliver on the out route there. That is to Tamari. That is what he does best. He is one of the, if not the best receiving backs in the league. And AB loves to find him on those quick routes. We do see a handoff here. Tries to get up the middle, but it just has not really been there. Look at those 11 rushes for 33 yards. Still at 3 yards a carry. Not a lot of movement for Tamari on the ground tonight. We see another handoff. Tries again to just go up the middle. Barrels over the defender, setting up a 3rd and short situation for Oregon. Maybe he's going to take the snap. Has a man underneath open. Don't know if he sees him. He did. What a delivery there. Nobody around to stop. Nobody around there to, I think that was Irving on the catch there. Oh, no, that was Talon. No one around to stop Talon. Wide open on what looks about a 7-yard route there. Just miles of space. I don't know if that was just an absolutely elite route run. I don't know if that was a blown coverage. But, man, he had... No way was that not going to be a first down, folks. We're going to see a handoff. Great defense out of Texas. Absolutely stuffing that run in the backfield. Huge defensive sequences we're seeing out of these teams. Let's see AB. Get ready to take the snap here on 2nd and behind the chains now. Have to see what Coach Brooks has cooked up. Oh no, real screen. That's super dangerous. Screen to Talon. Great job breaking a tackle and getting good yards out of that. Wide receiver screens always give me a bump in the night because those are very easily intercepted. Very risky play calls. AB's going to take another snap. Goes over the middle. Finds his man, but it gets kicked out. Kyrie cannot hang on to the ball. Huge defensive play. Getting that one out of there by Jackson Willis. Huge hit, knocking that ball out, punching that ball out, preventing the conversion, and a new set of downs. Oregon, we all know how Austin Briley feels about his kicker, so let's see if he can deliver on this one. He did. Oh my goodness, I'm genuinely surprised, but Oregon is going to take the lead 17-14, and just like that, folks, Texas has to get some more points on the board, or they are going to be out of the CS2 playoffs. So I am looking forward to this drive here. We saw a massive stop out of Oregon's defensive unit on Texas's last series. And, you know, to be honest, I'm really going to be surprised if we see another quick 3 and out here. I think fourth quarter, 8.5 minutes, playoff time. It's time for LA. It's time for CT. It's time for Reyes. It's time for these guys to really go out there and shine. I finally hope we see a little bit more of a buy on this drive. Get him involved. And I think that's Billingsley again. I don't know if Lamar knows this, but he doesn't just have to pass to Billingsley. I think 6 of his 7 passes have been to Billingsley. He loves his big tight end. There we go. We see it. I think that's Reyes on the catch there, as Texas does a great job getting to midfield, keeping the ball moving. And just like that, this is a quick drive so far for the Longhorns. As he does deliver, somehow Billingsley comes out with that catch. It's just for a couple of yards, but great grab on the kind of diving, rolling forward catch there. As Cruz credited with the tackle. He has Reyes underneath. I don't know if he saw him, had another man over top of Reyes. Didn't see either of those targets. Pressure in his face, though. That's definitely going to impact, you know, his field vision, of course. Does end up going underneath to CT. CT tries to fight his way for the first. I don't think they're going to give it to him, as that is 4th and 1. Huge tackle out of Cruz there, out of Oregon. Setting up what could potentially be a massive 4th and 1 here for Texas. I don't think this is field goal range, folks. This is just past the 45, so we're looking at basically a 60-yard field goal. We are going to see him go for it. I think this is the right call. Give it to CT. Try to see if he can get that 1 yard for you. There's the handoff. Jukes to the left. He's not going to get it, folks. That is a turnover on downs. I think if he jukes to the right or simply goes straight up the middle, he would have had enough space to get there. Unable to do so, and AB has a chance to seal this game right now. We're going to see the handoff to Tamari. Huge room on the outside. Does get another set of downs. Keeping the ball moving. Is he finally waking up in the backfield? Is that is White with his 4th tackle of the night? Is he finally waking up out of the backfield right now for this Oregon offense when they need him the most? Is he ready to deliver? 5.5 minutes to go. It should be... Oh, we're seeing a massive audible out of AB into the shotgun formation. Setting up a play action. Oh, an option play for AB. Tries to run it. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. That was some crazy play calling. I don't really know what he saw in the defense that made him think that was the line. But now we have a shotgun pass. Has a man. Delivers to his go-to. That is D. Wade with the catch. New set of downs for Oregon. Definitely within field goal range now. And if you're Texas, you got to be thinking to yourselves, we have to keep them out of the end zone. Listen, we can bend, not break. At this stage, I expected to see a lot more running plays out of Oregon, so I would just be absolutely stacking that box, putting the pressure on them, and trying to stop these runs. We do see a double play action, massive double play action. Pressure coming, ends up dumping it underneath to Mintz. Mintz boils over Jackson Willis and ends up going to 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard gain and passing Oregon to 300 total yards. And there is the handoff to Tamari. Tamari does get tackled right at the line, but fights his way forward for a new series. And just like that, folks, the clock is turning into Texas' #1 enemy with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Ends up going underneath. That is going to keep the clock moving. Oregon cannot be too mad at that. 2 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock. A touchdown here just about seals it. If you're Texas, you have to be watching that no matter what, as AB tries to get somebody to jump. A lot of hard snaps. Sends Kyrie in motion, fakes the touch pass, goes to Tamari. Tamari fights his way for another first down, and now Texas has no choice but to start calling timeouts, folks. And this could be the end of the Longhorns season. We need to see some fantastic defense. We do see a pass. An incompletion would be massive, but instead he finds his man. And Oregon gets the touchdown, making it a 2-possession game. That is Webb on the reception. Absolutely huge for Oregon. Going to be a 10-point game with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left. I cannot see a way out of this for Texas. We have seen some miracles here in the PFL, folks. Excuse me. And we will need to see another one. We will need to see another one if Texas has any chance of getting out of this one. Absolutely massive. Honestly, Oregon kept throwing. That's a very bold decision by Coach Brooks. Having faith in Austin Briley to deliver, because incompletions there stop the clock, save Texas a timeout. Those are really, really, really important things you have to be thinking about as a coach. Continues to trust Austin's arm, and Austin finally does a good job. Great methodical drive, not a lot of incompletions. In fact, I don't even know if he had one incompletion. Keeps the clock ticking, keeps the drive moving, and Oregon tops it off with a touchdown. And now we have to see something out of Texas I don't think we've seen all year, which is incredibly quick points. As we see the quick handoff to CT. But now we are under 2 minutes, 2nd and 3. I can almost guarantee that we're going to just see passes from here on out. I don't really know what's happening. I don't know why LA is allowing the clock to just tick down. That is not what they really want to do at all. He ends up going underneath, incompletion, setting up the 3rd and 3. 10-point lead for Oregon, folks. Barring anything insane, we see a quick dump, but there's just the corner had the route covered the whole way. Had to go back shoulder there. Ends up going inside. Setting up the 4th. No choice but to go for it here. Tries to go again. Almost throws an interception. And just like that, that's going to be a turnover on downs with 1:39 to go. That will most likely wrap it up. Texas could call some timeouts if they feel like it. You can see, remember when I was talking about AB's 12 incompletions? Since then, he's only thrown 2 more incompletions. Had himself a hell of a 4th quarter to help push Oregon into the semifinals. Massive for the freshman QB. The Falk Award nominee. The Heisman nominee. Absolutely massive for this Oregon squad. In Texas, honestly, you guys look great all season long. CT did his thing tonight. You guys are just probably 1 or 2 weapons away from really being an elite team in CS3. I know Tyon's going to be doing some serious recruiting. I know CT's going to be recruiting guys to his team. I don't think you guys are far away from being absolutely crazy good. I think it's just going to be a matter of shoring some things up, creating some passing game, taking some pressure off of CT and company. Those are going to be the biggest things in order to create success for you going into CS3. But man, oh man, we got to be super excited about Oregon, about this victory. I know Coach Brooks is going to be super ecstatic. They're just going to go for it here because the first down obviously immediately ends the game. Might as well try. AB is passing. Ends up going for kind of the crazy one when he had a man wide open underneath. But 44 seconds on the clocks, folks. This one is winding down. Finally reaching the end point here. Man, oh man. What a performance out of Oregon here. Absolute great job. Getting it done. Delivering when they needed to the most. Going into the playoffs. Going into the semifinal. Can't wait to see how the rest of this shakes up. I know CT's got himself a couple of games that he's going to be calling himself. Can't wait to watch those with him. Man, oh man, this is just the most exciting time to be a PFL fan, man. And then we got the off season, and then before you know it, it's CS3 time. Can't wait to rock with that with all of you guys. As we see, LA actually deliver an absolute laser there to Reyes. That was a great pass. 8 seconds on the clock. Probably only going to see one, maybe two more plays, depending on what happens. Here comes the final play of the game. Oregon again with a massive win going into the semifinals. I believe the semifinals are going to be on Friday. So make sure that you guys tune into those. We do see the Hail Mary to end the game here. Does make it to almost the end zone. Great arm on LA. But yeah, semifinals on Friday. Obviously more games tomorrow on Thursday, then semifinal on Friday, and the Natty on Saturday. And I do believe Zeke and I will be doing that live on Saturday for you all. So that's going to be super exciting. Can't wait to call that one. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Final score again, 24-14, Oregon over Texas. Great job by the Oregon team in Texas. No need to hold your head low. You had a hell of a year, and I expect to see a big response out of you in CS3. With that, it's John Smith in the booth, wrapping up here. Obviously, Commissioner Zeke, thank you so much. Want to give my producer a shout out. He did a fantastic job for me yet again. I know he's got to get some stats, get some pictures, but without further ado, from me and everybody else here from Austin, Texas, Oregon's moving on to the semifinals. Everybody have a good night. Goodbye.